and individuals. Cowboy Motor Company, save a horse, buy from Cowboy. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Castle Rock Chevrolet, we are Chevrolet. Wyoming Dental Specialists, and Rocky Mountain Care, simply the best care. Today's starting lineups are brought to you by Stacy's Repair in Woodruff. The beginning serve of each set is brought to you by The Station in Randolph, and your scoreboard sponsor for today's broadcast is You Win a Title. And now it's time for a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich Rebel Sports on KADQ FM 98.3 and online at KADQradio.com.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of God.
Good evening and welcome to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ FM 98.3, and you can watch this online at KADQradio.com. Ryan Steinekert here, bringing you all the action of the Lady Rebel Volleyball, and joining in, here we go. We had the football game moments ago, and the Rich Rebels won on the Western Ag scoreboard. Rebels got the win 20-19. And here we have starting lineups in the varsity volleyball game. Now the JVs won in 3, and here we go with the varsity. Our starting lineups brought to you by Stacy's Repairs. We try to get caught up and into this volleyball match. Here the Rebels hosting the Tabiona Tigers. Starting for the, let's get through the Tabiona Tigers real quick. Starting number 7, McCall Giles. Number 11, Kennedy Lazenby. Number 15, Gentry Barneck. Number 17, Mackenzie Wagner. Number 20, Jordan L. Jenkins, and number 25, Gracie Rhodes. Starting for your Rich High Lady Rebels, we have number 4, Reagan Lloyd. Lloyd, a junior, 5'7" junior. Also starting number 5, a freshman. No, that's not right. Maybe they're running with a different starting lineup for homecoming. Running over here after the football game. I wasn't able to catch up with Coach Cindy Stewart to get starting lineups for tonight. And it looks like based on who's out on the floor right now, we'll have Reagan Lloyd, Ashley Grohl, we'll have Cammie Lamborn, Emily Hopkin, along with Danielle Hefner and Andy Cornea, the starters for the Rich High Lady Rebels. So Tabiona coming in tonight. The Tigers are having a great season so far. I talked with Coach Tansy Lazenby. They are 10-1. They're 3-0 in the region, in Region 17. And not only are they 3-0, now they beat Altamont, Manila, and Duchesne in consecutive matches. They beat Altamont in the 12th. They beat Manila September 13th, and then Duchesne the next weekend. Not only did they beat those teams, they beat all 3 of those teams in 3 straight. Their only loss this season was to 3A Union, a 2-0 loss. And this is a Tabiona team that's been on the rise. They've got some experience this year. They've got some seniors. They also have a couple of freshmen and a sophomore starting. But they've got some experience, and they feel really good about where they're at right now. And looking at league standings, this is a big one. It's Region 17. Rich and Tabiona both 3-0 in the region. So the winner of this match would put themselves alone in first place in Region 17. That's how big this match is. And the Rebels will start with Reagan Lloyd serving. If you're watching online at KADQradio.com, you see the ball rolling off to the right side of the screen. That's the west side of the gym. Reagan Lloyd is back there ready to serve things up and get this one underway here on KADQ Radio, KADQ FM 98.3 and online at KADQradio.com. And Ellen Peart, also Lilia Brown out there on the floor, Emily Hopkin, and Danielle Hefner, and Reagan Lloyd, the starters for tonight's match. And the starting lineup tonight Again, brought to you by Stacy's Repair in Woodruff. Here we are moments away, and here's the first serve from Reagan Lloyd. It's just a bit short, hits this side of the net, falls to the floor, and Tabiona leads 1-0 on the Uinta scoreboard. That beginning serve brought to you by the station in Randolph. Here's number 7 to serve, McCall Giles. Not a good serve, misplayed, shanked by the Rebels, and it's 2-0 Tabiona on the Uinta scoreboard. Here's the serve again by Giles. McCall goes with the jump serve. It's a real high-arching serve. Hefner passes up front. Peart serves it up for Cammie Lamborn, who hammers it home. The big hit and the kill, and the Rebels are on the scoreboard. It's 1-2 on the Uinta scoreboard. Brown will check out, and Peterson will check into the front row. Get that little bit of extra height up there as Daniel Hefner goes back to serve. Hefner from the far side, from that right side going right to left, and the pass up front right in the net. Tabiona just scrambles to get it over the top. They bump it over. Now here's Lamborn, the tip, and oh my goodness, what vision and placement on that. Blockers came to this near side. There was a hole on that far side. Lamborn finds it, no problem, and it's 2-2. We're tied up on the Uinta scoreboard. Hefner back to serve again for the Rich High Lady Rebels, and she'll go over to the back row. Barneck passes up front. They'll set it up, and a long hit by Jordanelle Jenkins, the junior, hits it long, and the Rebels take the lead 3-2 on the Uinta scoreboard. Down 2-0 to start. Now they've scored 3 straight, and they lead 3-2. Hefner again, the serve barely clears the net. The bump goes over the net, and the Rebels will set it up for Lamborn here on this near side. Big hit, she hammers it home. The kill, and the Rebels lead 4-2 on the Uinta scoreboard. And the Rebels have scored 4 straight after giving up 2 straight to Tabiona to start this one. Hefner again to serve, just off the side over there on the far side. Here's the serve over the top. And the Tabiona Tigers will set it up here to the far side, to Gracie Rhodes. Now the Rebels will set it up for Lamborn, who pushes into the corner. It's on the line. She has that perfect placement. She's probably done that 100,000 times in her volleyball career, and she does it so smoothly. Finds that back line, and depending on the angle you're at, from here, that looked like it was out. The line judge there is on top of it. Hefner the serve as the Rebels lead 5-2 on the Uinta scoreboard. Here's the back serve. The push to the corner. Peart just pushes it into the air. The bump not good. A poor pass, and Rebels can't handle it now. They dive to the floor as Hefner goes down, and the point will go to Tabiona. Gentry Barneck, the senior, will go back to serve now for the Tigers. And goes to Lamborn, who passes up front right in the net. Peart does a nice job to keep herself out of the net, but no, she's going to say 2 hits by the Rebels is the call by the official, and it's 5-4 on the Uinta scoreboard. Rebels up by just 1 now. Here's the serve again by Barneck. Peart now sets it up for Lamborn. Big hit down the line and skips off the cross at the top of the net, and in the corner finds the floor on the Tiger side of the net, and the official is going to call her line judges in to have a quick chat with them and find out what the call was. From my perspective, that looked like it was definitely in on the corner here on this near side, on this near sideline, and on that deep back line. And after a quick meeting with the officials and the line judges, they say that is indeed the call, and the Rebels will get the point on the Uinta scoreboard, now leading 6-4. Now Cornea will check in for Rich High, and Cornea will go back to serve. Serves from the far side, right to left on the KADQradio.com if you're watching online. Here's the set. They serve it over the top. Not a great, they just pass it over. Now Peterson will set it up. Lamborn pushes it over, just push into the hole. Can't find it quite, and the Tigers are there. Now the hit by Mackenzie Wagner is long and out of bounds here on this near side. So point to the Rebels, who lead 7-4 on the Uinta scoreboard. Cornea across the top. It's received by Lazenby. She'll pass up front. Pretty good pass. They set it up. Nice hit down the line. And on the back by Mackenzie Wagner. It's on the line. And a big hit for the kill. It's 7-5. Let Tabiona with the point on the Uinta scoreboard. Back to serve now goes Jordanelle Jenkins, the junior. And Jenkins running jump serve. The serve is long, though. That was about 5 feet long. And it's 8-5. Rebels get the point, leading by 3 on the UNT title scoreboard as Cammie Lamborn goes back to serve for the Rebels. Good strong jump serve, and boy, a shank by Mackenzie Wagner on the serve receive. That was down low. It was a shallow serve, just made it over the net, and the Rebels get the point, leading 9-5 now on the UNT title scoreboard. Lamborn will go back to serve again for the Rebels. Good serve again, picking on Wagner. Wagner's pass pretty good this time. They'll set it up. The push down the line is in by Kennedy Lazenby. And Lazenby gets that nice placement with her attack. And now it's 9-6. Tabiona gets the point. Trails by 3 on the UNT title scoreboard. Back to serve Gracie Rhodes. Rhodes to the back row, and Lloyd passes up front. They'll set it up for Peart, and played, shanked by Gracie Rhodes. Rebels get the point. It's 10-6 on the UNT title scoreboard. So back to serve goes Lilia Brown for the Rich High Rebels. Just off this near side, going right to left from our view. And if you're watching online at kadqradio.com, that's the view. They'll set it up. Lazenby, no. The tip over by Mackenzie Wagner. Now Cornea will set it up for Peart. Big hit. It would have been long. They try to play it. It's off the ceiling tiles and back over the net. Now the Rebels will set it up. Cornea for Peart. Peart pushing it over, trying to find a hole. A diving effort by Tabiona. The pass goes into the stands, and the Rebels lead 11-6. Nice volley by Rich High, and they take a 5-point lead now, with Brown going back to serve again for the Rebels. Good jump serve to Barnack. Barnack's pass comes out of bounds and over the net out of bounds, so the point goes immediately to the Rebels, who lead 12-6 on the UNT title scoreboard. Building the lead. Rebels trailed 2-0 early, scored 5 straight, and now they're up 12-6. Beautiful serve by Cornea. Misplayed by Wagner. It's a shank into the stands here on this near side, out of bounds, and it's 13-6. Rebels with the lead. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a quick one as well. Rebels lead 13-6 on the UNT title scoreboard. You're listening to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ FM 98.3, and online you can watch it at kadqradio.com.
Long lines and slow traffic. Gas prices on the rise? Save yourself a trip to the big city by stopping first at Cowboy Motor Company. You no longer have to get out of Dodge to find the best deals on vehicles. Cowboy Motor Company has them in stock. Expanding inventory and plenty of money available for lending, you can now get into Dodge at Cowboy Motor Company. Strength, honesty, and integrity. The Cowboy way. Cowboy Motor Company, 100 Wasatch Road in Evanston.
Welcome back to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Richard Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ 98.3 FM and online at kadqradio.com. Brown serve to the back row, and the Tigers will set it up. They hit it over the top. Now Cornea will set it up for Peart, far to the outside. Nice move by Peart, moving backwards toward her bench. She hits it over, and it's shanked by the Lady Tigers, making it 14-6. Rebels building the lead on the UNT title scoreboard, and Brown will serve again. Brown goes to the backside, and but Wagner passes up front. Not a great pass into the net, and the Tigers just scramble to get it over. Now Cornea will set it up. Peart, a big hit, hammered into the net. It's tipped by Lazenby, but tipped into the net. She blocks it right into her own side of the net, to the floor, and it's a point to the Lady Rebels. 15-6. Nice attack by Peart on that one. And now Brown serve, finding that seam, and the Tabiona Lady Tigers just have to hit it over. They just bump it over the top. Now Cornea sets it up for Reagan Lloyd. Lloyd pushes it over. Can't find the hole. Now they'll set it up for Wagner. Back row. Peart will hit it. It's blocked and out of bounds. Coach Lazenby wants to say the Rebels tipped it, but they did not. It fell on this side, on the Rebels side of the floor, but it was out of bounds off of the Lady Tigers. So point goes to the Rebels, leading 16-6 on the UNT title scoreboard. Wagner passes, and the hit into the net by Lazenby. Hefner and Lloyd were there to make the block if it had made it over the net. And it's 17-6 on the UNT title scoreboard. Lady Rebels on a big run here, 8-0 at this point. Back row. Pass up front by Lazenby. They'll set it up for Lazenby. It's tipped by the Rebels and tipped out of bounds by the blockers. So the point will go to the Lady Tigers, making it 17-7 and ending the Lady Rebel run of 8-0. Back to serve goes Mackenzie Wagner, the senior. Serves a high arching serve. Lamborn passes up front. Cornea sets it up for Lamborn on the back row, and she hammers it into a seam. Gets the kill. Beautiful attack. It's 18-7. Rebels with the lead on the Winnitado scoreboard. I tell you, the Rebels right now are firing on all cylinders. This is a Tabiona team, remember, that won in 3 straight against Altamont, Manila, and Duchesne just within the last couple of weeks. Here's the push, and a beautiful push. Nice vision by Barnek, who pushes it over across court. She finds the angle and finds the hole. Gets the point for the Lady Tigers, trailing 18-8 on the Winnitado scoreboard. Back to serve goes sophomore Kennedy Lazenby. Lazenby goes to the far corner. Brown passes up front, and the set for Lamborn on the back row. It's tipped by Wagner, and a beautiful hit by Lamborn, making it 19-8 on the Winnitado scoreboard. Rebels with the lead as Reagan Lloyd goes back to serve. Lloyd was our Rebel in the classroom during the halftime show, the football game earlier tonight. Rebels got the victory, 20-7, or 20-19 rather, over the Monticello Buckaroos. 19-8, the Tigers able to hit it over the top. Now Peart will set it up for Hefner. Hefner the hit. It's blocked by the Tigers, but right into the net by Gentry Barnek, the senior. And she has to hit it 2-3 times to try and keep it alive. Point to the Rebels. It's 20-8 on the Winnitado scoreboard. Lady Rebels building the big lead. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a quick one as well. You're listening to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich Lady Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ FM 98.3 and online at kadqradio.com.
Hunters, you could win a $3,000 gift certificate to Sports World by winning first place in the Big Buck contest. Sports World certificates for second and third place too. Stop by Castle Rock Chevrolet for details. Before you head to the hills, have Castle Rock change your oil and give your vehicle a multi-point inspection. And when you're hunting for a new car or truck, then stock the lot at Castle Rock. We're Castle Rock. A $3,000 prize for first place, the Big Buck contest at Castle Rock Chevrolet.
Welcome back to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich Lady Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ FM 98.3 and online at kadqradio.com. You can watch this match. Lloyd with the serve. Big hit by Barnek into the blocking hands of Hefner, and it falls on the Rebel side of the floor. So the point to the Lady Tigers, and that's just what they were looking for. Coach Lazenby wanted after that timeout. They get the play they wanted, and it's 20-9. On the Winnitado scoreboard. McCall Giles goes back to serve. Hefner passes up front to Peart, and Peart called for the carry as she tried to do a back set for Hopkin. And so the point will go to the Tigers. It's 20-10 on the Winnitado scoreboard. Giles again to serve. High arching serve. And boy, that just kind of dies shallow in front of the net. Lamborn's pushed into the corner. Played but shanked by Gracie Rhodes, and it's out of bounds. 21-10. Rebels get the point and lead on the Winnitado scoreboard. Rebels building the lead. Set number 1 here at Rich High School. Homecoming night for the Rebels. And JV team, Rebels 1-3 in the JV match earlier tonight. And the Rebels varsity team right now leading 21-10 in the first set. Hefner's serve by Barnek is played to the front. Now they'll push it over the top. Reagan Lloyd is there, pass up front. And again, the back set by Peart for Hopkin. Hopkin just tips it over the top. Now the Tigers will set it up, and the hit attempt by Gentry Barnek into the net. Point will go to the Rebels. It's 22-10 on the Winnitado scoreboard here in the first set. And Hefner will go back to serve. Hefner from the far side and just clears the net. The pass goes over. It's an overpass. Now Hopkin will set it up for Lamborn right at the net. Not a great set. Lamborn couldn't get to it. And a nice play by Jordanelle Jenkins. She got up high. Jenkins used all 5'8" of her frame and tipped it over back into the Rebel side of the net. It's 22-11 and back to serve goes Barnek. Barnek's serve is long, and so the Rebels will get the point, leading 23-11 on the Winnitado scoreboard. And Cornea will go back to serve now for the Rich High Lady Rebels. If you're watching online at kadqradio.com, you can see Coach Stewart going out to do a little coaching with her team. As Cornea's serve goes to the back row, now push to the back. Lloyd has to pass it up high. Rebels scrambling, and Lamborn and Beard. Little miscommunication there. They both thought the other was going to go for it. Then they both backed off, and it falls right between the two of them. So the point to the Lady Tigers is 23-12 on the Uinetalo scoreboard. And number 23, Shaylee Ney, will check in. The freshman will go back to serve. She'll serve from straight away. And boy, good strong serve, but it's long. Well out of bounds, about 8-10 feet long, makes it 24-12. Lady Rebels with set point here in set number 1, leading 24-12 on the Uinetalo scoreboard. Lamborn back to serve. Goes to the backside to Mackenzie Wagner, whose pass is shanked into the bleachers on the far side in the student section. And the Rebels win set number 1, 25-12 on the Uinetalo scoreboard. Rebels firing on all cylinders in set number 1. And so a victory for the Rebels in that first set. You're listening to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ FM 98.3 and watch it online at kadqradio.com.
Precious time cannot be recovered once lost, said the famous Jack Sparrow. Don't lose time driving extra miles when the dental services you need are available right here in Evanston. Do you need a root canal? Do you need your wisdom teeth pulled? Are you missing teeth and want a full and perfect smile? Do you need braces? All of these services are available from our specialists right here in Evanston. This is oral surgeon A.J. Stosich inviting you to join me and my associates. Call today to schedule an appointment at 307-789-5608. That's 307-789-5608. Save your precious time.
Welcome back to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich Lady Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ 98.3 FM and online at kadqradio.com. See the Rich Lady Rebels over there talking in between sets 1 and 2. Rebels got the win in set 1, 25-12, and they trailed 2-0 early, but then they went on a 6-0 run, I believe it was, a 5-0 run. That run ended, and the Tigers scored a couple of points, but a little bit later on, the Rebels went on an 8-0 run and just didn't look back from there. They were leading 9-6, and then after that 8-0 run, they were leading 17-6 and just kind of cruised from that point on. They were firing on all cylinders. Lady Rebels looking good here tonight so far, and I hope I don't curse them. If you were listening earlier today, Rich football team, the Rebels football team, got a win in the homecoming game. Football team improved to 4-1 this season with a 20-19 come-from-behind victory over the Monticello Buckaroos, and Rebels trailed 19-12, make that 19-14 with about 4 minutes left to go. They got a big defensive stand down inside the 10-yard line, a big sack by Isaac Hopkin. Also, McKay Jarman was in on that sack as well, and big sack forced a 4th down. Buckaroos missed the attempted field goal, and Rebels took the ball back with 4 minutes, 20 seconds left to go, drove 80 yards for a touchdown to put themselves ahead 20-19, and then held on for that victory. So a big win for the Rich Rebel football team in the homecoming game today. Set number 1, Lady Rebels got the victory 25-12, and they'll receive to start this second set against the Tabiona Tigers, who, as I mentioned, come into this match at 10-1 overall. They're 3-0 in the region with 3-0 wins over Altamont, Manila, and Duchesne. This first serve to start set number 2 is brought to you by the station in Randolph, and not a nice-looking serve, misplayed by McCall Giles, and doesn't even make it to the net. Rebels lead 1-0 on the Uinetalo scoreboard, and Cornell will go back to serve. Goes to the back row. Tabiona passes up front, and they'll set it up. Big hit. Cornea is there into the stands. Hefner hits it into one of her fellow classmates, and the point will go to the Tabiona Lady Tigers. We're tied at 1 in set number 2 on the Uinetalo scoreboard. Rebels won 25-12 in the first set. Peart passes up front after the serve. Now Cornea will set it up. Big hit by Lamborn. A beautiful block. And the Tigers, good reason to be excited after that block by Jordanelle Jenkins. Lamborn tried to power it through, but Jenkins right there blocked it back, and the Tigers lead 2-1 on the Uinetalo scoreboard. Here's the serve by Barneck. Rebels will set it up for Peart. Peart's hit is right at Barnek. Nice pass to keep that alive, and she'll just push it over the top. Now Hefner's pass is an overpass. It goes back over the net. Tigers will set it up. Push to the back row. Lloyd is there. Now Cornea will set it up for Peart on the front row. Push to a hole, and the Tigers are there. Now they'll bump it over the top. And Cornea passes up front. Peterson will set it for Lamborn, who pushes it into a hole. Defense was backing off. The blockers were coming up, and Lamborn just pushes it, just tips it over the top, finds that hole in the defense, and we're tied at 2 on the Uinta scoreboard here in set 2. Lamborn, that curling jump serve and diving effort by Lazenby to keep it alive, and now 2 hits by the Tigers will give the Rebels a point, leading 3-2 on the Uinta scoreboard. Lamborn again to serve. Now we'll have a substitution. Daley Hamilton will check in for McCall Giles. Giles a freshman, Hamilton a junior. Here's Lamborn. Good strong serve. Barnek passes up front right near the net. The set to the back row, and now Hefner's there to pass it up front. Cornea sets it up for Lloyd. Lloyd pushes it toward the corner. Nice placement by Lloyd. And Lazenby had to really go out of her way to try and keep that one in play, and she kind of shanked it. And the Rebels get the point, leading 4-2 on the Uinta scoreboard. Here's Lamborn to the back row. Lazenby passes up front. Here's the set and the push over the top by Hamilton. Hamilton, Cornea now to Peterson. Peterson will set it up for Peart, who tips it over. Partially tipped by Jenkins, but 2 hits against the Rebels. So they're going to say that Peart got 2 hits on that push. And it's 4-3. Tigers get the point and trail by 1 on the Uinta scoreboard as Jordanelle Jenkins goes back to serve. Jenkins, high jump serve. Lamborn passes up front. Cornea sets it up for Lloyd. Lloyd's hit to the back row. Pushed up by Barnek, and somehow the Tigers keep it alive. Cornea now sets it up for Peart, who hammers it into the net. Also blocked by Lazenby and blocked well out of bounds. So the point will go to the Rebels, leading 5-3 now on the Uinta scoreboard. And Brown will check in to serve for Rich High. You can see Brown holding, if you're watching online at kadqradio.com, you see her on the far left side of the screen. Tigers will set it up, and the hit, nice hit by Wagner. Rebels can't handle it. Misplayed and out of bounds. 5-4. Tigers get the point, trailed by 1 on the Uinta scoreboard. We were close early on in the first set. Rebels led 5-4 at one point. Then they went on a bit of a run, made it 9-5, and then went on an 8-0 run from there. The pass to Lamborn just dives. It's a shallow serve, rather, and Lamborn's pass as she dives to the floor just to get underneath it. Tries to do that pancake, but she can't get underneath it to control it, and we're tied at 5. Here's Rhodes back to serve and waiting for the whistle. She'll serve from straight away. We have a little discussion here at the score table with one of the officials to make sure things are all square. Now we get the whistle, and Rhodes will serve. Lamborn passes. Cornea sets it up for Peart. Peart the push down the line. One-handed play by Hamilton, and the Tigers get it back over the top. Brown will pass it up, set by Cornea. Lloyd hit, and it's blocked by Wagner. It tight ropes across the top of the net. Falls on the Rebel side, and the Tigers lead 6-5 on the Uinta scoreboard. Rhodes again the serve, and it dies right there shallow in front of the net. Rebels scrambling, and Lamborn will bump it across from the back row. Now Lazenby will set it up. Hamilton, no, they're going to push it over by Rhodes. Rebels will set it up. Cornea, and a big hit by Peart, but a diving effort by Barnek to keep it alive. It's over the net. It falls on the line. Cornea was there, but she thought it was out, so she let it go. And the Lady Tigers lead 7-5 on the Uinta scoreboard as Rhodes goes back to serve once again. But Rhodes serve into the net. Went off the side of her right hand, off the right side, into the net, and Rebels trail 7-6 on the Uinta scoreboard as Hopkin comes over to check in for Cornea. Hopkin getting some height back on the front row. She's 5'8", listed on the roster. Big serve by Peart, and played but shanked into the back wall by Barnek. I believe that was, or Wagner. So we're tied at 7 on the Uinta scoreboard here in set 2. Again, the serve to the backside, and Barnek passes Not a great pass, so they'll just bump it over. Now Peart will set it up for Lloyd. Lloyd's pushed down the line. Barneck's there, or Rhodes rather is there. They'll set it up, and here's the hit by Wagner. Rebels are there. Peart sets it for Reagan Lloyd. Lloyd's hit into the corner. Nice placement. Barneck rather, can't control it. She tried to get enough air underneath it, but it was headed toward the back of the gym, and that gives the Rebels the lead 8-7 on the Winnetitle scoreboard as Peart goes back to serve once again. She gets that floater serve. It's like a knuckleball in baseball, and the pass goes over the net. So the Rebels will set it up for Hefner. Tipped at the net by the Tiger blockers. Now Lazenby's hit. Rebels keep it alive. Good effort by Peart, but it falls to the floor, and we're tied back up at 8 on the Winnetitle scoreboard. Nicely played by the Lady Tigers. And Wagner will go back to serve. Brown passes up front. Peart passes all the way across with a set for Lloyd. Lloyd's hit to the backside, and Wagner's pass goes up off the ceiling tiles. Tigers will push it over. Here's Peart, set it up for for Lloyd rather. Here's the pass. Not a good set by the Tigers, so they'll just bump it over. Lamborn passes up front. Peart, the set for Hefner. The pass goes back over the top of the net. Rebels set it up, and now the block by Hefner at the net. Barneck dives, but it's into the bottom of the net. And Hefner got up, pushed it down at that little roof, and makes it 9-8 on the Winnetitle scoreboard. Rebels with the lead, and Lloyd will go back to serve again. Lloyd's serve, passed up front, and Barneck now will try the hit. Tipped by the Rebel blockers. Peart will set it up for Lamborn, who pushes down the line. Rhodes is there, and they'll set it up here to this side to Barneck. Barneck hit blocked, and Hefner, it's not close enough to the net. It's blocked into the net by Hefner and Hopkin. And so we're tied back up, 9 apiece on the Winnetitle scoreboard in set 2. Rebels won set 1, 25-12. Set number 2, we're tied. Here's Lloyd's pass up front, a good pass. Peart sets it up for Lamborn. The big hit is long, out of bounds. And it's 10-9. Lady Tigers back on top. This is a different Tiger team than we saw in that first set. Rebels won 25-12. Here in set number 2, though, Tigers with the lead, 10-9. Lazenby's serve, passed by Hefner up to Peart. Peart's set will go to Lamborn, who just pushes it over, tips it over the top. Now the push into the corner. Nice job by Lloyd to get there. Pass up front. Here's the set. Lamborn's push almost finds the net, or finds the hole. But then the hit by Barneck, she hits the net on her swing, on her follow-through, and that ties us up at 10. Hefner will go back to serve now for the Rebels. Brown will check out. Peterson in. So we got Lamborn, Peterson, and Hopkin up front. Peart, Lloyd, and Hefner on the back. Here's Hefner's serve. Barneck passes. There's the set, and for Rhodes, she'll just tip it over. Now it's Jenkins, rather, who tips it over. Rebels will set it up, and Lamborn pushes it over the top. Now the Tigers will set it back up. Nice little push by Jenkins. Now Lamborn, a back set over the net. Here's the set. Barneck's hit into the net, and the Rebels get the point, 11-10. They lead on the Winnetitle scoreboard. If you're watching online at KADQradio.com, you can see Hefner on the just off the far left side. Here's the serve going over from left to right. Here's the set. Jenkins with the hit into the net. Little bit of missed time. She mistimed it just a bit, and Rebels now lead 12-10 on the Winnetitle scoreboard. Hefner back to serve. Serves into the net, and it's back to a 1-point game, 12-11. Rebels lead on the Winnetitle scoreboard as Daly Hamilton goes back to serve. Set number 2, Rebels took the first set, 25-12. And here's Peart, sets it up for Lamborn. The big hit, one-handed pass by Lazenby. That's all she could get out there. That's how hard Lamborn hit it. And the point will go to the Rebels. It's 13-11 on the Winnetitle scoreboard. And Cornea will check back in to serve for the Rebels. Again, just off the screen if you're watching online at KADQradio.com. Cornea's serve comes across left to right, and Hamilton will set it up. Barneck, the big hit, but it's big long. That's 14-11. Rebels get the point and lead by 3 on the Winnetitle scoreboard. This one's been back and forth in this second set. Rebels trailed by as much as a couple of points, but now they're on top by 3. Cornea's serve. Passed up front right into the net by Barnek. Not a good pass. And that results in a Rebel point. It's 15-11 on the Uinetalo scoreboard. Rebels leading in set 2. They won the first set 25-12. And not a good pass once again, but a nice set to the front row, and Jenkins gets a good hit. Rebels block, tipped over to the sideline and out of bounds, and the Lady Tigers will get the point. It's 15-12 on the Uinetalo scoreboard, and Barnek will go back to serve for the Tigers. Lamborn passes up front. Cornea sets. Here's the hit by Lamborn. She'll just push it over the top. Little tap, and now the hit back by Barnek, or by Wagner rather. Now the Rebels will set it up for Peart. Beautiful hit, not a ton of power, but she spikes it right into the middle of the defense. And it's 16-12. Rebels with the lead on the Uinetalo scoreboard. Lamborn back to serve for Rich High. Here's Lamborn to Lazenby. Not a great pass. They'll set it up front, though. Good set, and Wagner gets a good hit, but hits it into the net. And it's a point to the Rebels. 17-12. Rich High leads on the Uinetalo scoreboard. Lamborn back to serve. Here's Lamborn from left to right. That's east to west. The pass goes over the net, and Peterson just jumps up, tips it right to the floor. But did she touch the net? No, she did not. 18-12. Rebels with the lead on the Uinetalo scoreboard. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a quick one as well. You're listening to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ FM 98.3, and watch it online at kadqradio.com.
It's time for the pre-winter checkup special.
Big O Tires, we go the extra mile, revving up the service to make you smile. We're in the business of customer pleasing, all the right service for all the right reasons.
Receive an oil change, 22-point inspection, brake check, and tire rotation for just $59.99.
Extra miles, the way we go, we got you covered at Big O.
Big O Tires in Evanston, 607 Cheyenne Drive.
Welcome back to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ FM 98.3 and online at kadqradio.com. Rebels leading 18-12 on the Uinetalo scoreboard. Lamborn serve, passed by Lazenby, and they'll set it up front for Wagner. It's blocked, tipped at the line by the Rebels, and they're going to say one of the blockers in the net. So the Tigers earned the point there. Would have been a tough one to play, even if the Rebels hadn't been in the net. So here's Rhodes back to serve, or Jenkins, rather. Lamborn's pass. Cornea sets it up for Lloyd. Lloyd hits it over, and the diving effort by Wagner. No, Barnek, rather. Her pass goes up over the net and out of bounds, and the Rebels now lead 19-13 on the Uinetalo scoreboard. Brown checks in to serve. On the front row is Lloyd, Peart, and Hefner. Here's the serve by Brown to the backside. Wagner sets it up. Now Wagner gets the pass back, and she'll push it over after the set, rather. Here's the Rebels. Cornea sets it up for Lloyd, who hits it over, but a couple of Tigers in the net, so the Rebels get the point. It's 20-13 on the Uinetalo scoreboard as Rich High starting to pull away here in set number 2. They took the first set 25-12, but now Brown's set into the net. And it's 20-14 on the Uinetalo scoreboard. Rebels with the lead. But the Tigers with the serve now. Rhodes. Oh, that one's shallow. That one just dove to the floor. But the Rebels set it up for Peart. Big hit by Peart. And a diving effort by Barnek. She gets underneath it, but tips it into the stands here on this near side. And the Rebels lead 21-14 on the Uinetalo scoreboard with Ellen Peart going back to serve. Peart goes to the far side angle. And, miscommunication between the Tigers. About 4 of them were right there to play it, and all of them thought the other one was going to do it. So the Rebels lead 22-14 on the Uinetalo scoreboard. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a quick one as well. You're listening to a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ FM 98.3, and watch it online at kadqradio.com.
Long lines and slow traffic. Gas prices on the rise? Save yourself a trip to the big city by stopping first at Cowboy Motor Company. You no longer have to get out of Dodge to find the best deals on vehicles. Cowboy Motor Company has them in stock. expanding inventory, and plenty of money available for lending, you can now get into Dodge at Cowboy Motor Company. Strength, honesty, and integrity. The Cowboy Way. Cowboy Motor Company, 100 Wasatch Road in Evanston.
Welcome back to a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich Lady Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ FM 98.3 and online at kadqradio.com. Lady Rebels leading 22-14 here in set number 2. They took the first set 25-12. And Ellen Peart back to serve for the Lady Rebels, serving left to right if you're watching at kadqradio.com. Here's the serve, just clears the net. The pass back up into the net, and the Lady Rebels lead 23-14. Knocking on the door here in set number 2. Again, Rebels won the first set 25-12. And here in set number 2, leading 23-14 on the Winnetano scoreboard. Peart serve, goes to the back row, and Wagner passes out. Barnack passes up front. Set for Wagner. Wagner's hit into the net. Point to the Rebels. It's 24-14 on the Winnetano scoreboard. Set point in set number 2. Here's Peart, serving left to right. Pass, not a good one. Giles scrambles. Wagner tips it over. Peart's there. Pass to Hopkin, who'll set it up for Hefner. Big hit. The pass back into the net as Barnack went down low to pass it back up, but it's into the net. Rebels get the point and win. Set number 2, 25-14 on the Winnetano scoreboard. Rebels leading 2-0 in this match. They won for the first set 25-12, second set 25-14. You're listening to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich Lady Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ FM 98.3, and tune in, watch it online at kadqradio.com.
Precious time cannot be recovered once lost, said the famous Jack Sparrow. Don't lose time driving extra miles when the dental services you need are available right here in Evanston. Do you need a root canal? Do you need your wisdom teeth pulled? Are you missing teeth or want a full and perfect smile? Do you need braces? All of these services are available from our specialists right here in Evanston. This is endodontist Les Walker inviting you to join me and my associates. Call today to schedule an appointment at 307-789-5608. That's 307-789-5608. Save your precious time.
It's time for the pre-winter checkup special.
Big O Tires, we go the extra mile. Revving up the service to make you smile. We're in the business of customer pleasing. All the right service for all the right reasons.
Receive an oil change, 22-point inspection, brake check, and tire rotation for just $59.99.
Extra miles, the way we go, we got you covered at Big O.
Big O Tires in Evanston, 607 Cheyenne Drive.
Welcome back to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich Lady Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ 98.3 FM, and you can watch online at kadqradio.com. If you're watching online right now, you'll see the Hot Shot Cam brought to you by Perry Brothers Trucking and Ellingford Brothers Incorporated, and we want to thank all of our fine sponsors. It's such a pleasure, it's such a good time for me to be able to bring all these matches to you here on KADQ FM 98.3. You see the Rebels talking. They're leading 2-0 in this set, and boy, they look relaxed. Coach Stewart knows her team is playing well tonight. They've got wins 25-12 in set number 1, 25-14 in set number 2, and lead 2-0 in this match. Lady Rebel JV team got the win in 3 over the Tabiona Lady Tigers. And again, I'll mention, this is a Tabiona team that's feeling really good about where they're at this season. They come in at 10-1 overall. Their only loss up to this point was against Union. They'd only lost 2 other sets, so already they've lost as many sets in this one as they had almost all season long. Actually, I have to correct that. They had lost 4 sets prior to tonight's match. So, but they, again, 10-1 overall, 10 wins, 1 loss in matches. 3-0 in region. They got 3-0 wins over Altamont, Manila, and Duchesne earlier this season, but right now they're trailing 2-0 to the Rich Lady Rebels. Reagan Lloyd serves up. That first serve brought to you by the station in Randolph, and a nice play, a nice attack by the Tigers, who take a 1-0 lead on the Winnetano scoreboard. They found that hole right here on the near side in front of the official, in front of the Rebel bench. Here's McCall Giles. Her jump serve. Too much air underneath it, just lofts up and drops down on the Tiger side of the net. So we're tied at 1 on the Uinetado scoreboard as Peterson will come over and check back in for Rich High. Front row now is Hopkin, Peterson, and Lamborn as Hefner goes back to serve. Peart and Lloyd also on the floor. Beautiful serve by Hefner. The pass in the net, and now the Rebels, though, into the net on the return. And Tabiona retakes the lead 2-1 on the Uinetado scoreboard. Barnack back to serve. Lloyd passes up front. Peart sets it up for Lamborn. The big hit. Lazenby's pass right here to Whitley Weston on the bench. That's a tough one to handle. That's just too hot. We're tied at 2 after the kill by Lamborn. And now Whitley Weston will check in. Andy Cornea checks in as well. Danielle Hefner out. And Cornea back to serve for the Rebels. Good strong serve to Barnack on the back row. Pass up front. They'll set, and Jenkins just has to bump it over. Now Weston passes up front. They'll set it up for Peart. Big hit, but 2 hits. Not sure. I missed the action there a little bit because I'm not sure how that worked out. But the Rebels get the point. It's 3-2 on the Uinetado scoreboard. Rebels leading 2-0 here in set number 3. They lead 2 sets to none. Cornea's serve. Passed by Lazenby to the front. Now Giles will set it up. Big hit! Blocked by the Rebels. Lamborn and Peterson right there. And boy, Mackenzie Wagner got a good hit on that one. Good swing, but Rebels were there to block, and they lead 4-2 on the Uinetado scoreboard. Cornea serves backside. Lazenby passes up front. They'll set it for Rhodes, who will just push it over. Up high. Lamborn will pass. Now Cornea sets it up for Lamborn. Her hit is long. And she's asking for a tip. A little bit of a fishing expedition, I think, there, because that hit was a little bit too high for anybody to get to. And it's 4-3. Rebels with the 1-point lead on the Uinetado scoreboard. Jenkins back to serve. Down the line. Peart passes in toward the middle. Cornea will set it up for Lamborn. Hit from the back row, and the hit is long. And we're tied at 4 on the Uinetado scoreboard. Back to serve. Jenkins once again for the Lady Tigers. Serves from this near side. She uses the running jump serve. Ooh, beautiful serve. Just clears the net. Lloyd passes up front. A great pass. Nice set. Peart with the hammer home. Peart gets the kill. Nice attack, and Rebels lead 5-4. Boy, that was one of the nicest serves we've seen all night from the Tigers. But a beautiful pass by Reagan Lloyd up front. Nice set, and Peart just hammered it. Here's Lamborn with the serve. The pass goes over the net to the Rebels. Now Peterson will set it up for Peart. It's a little bit toward the middle of the court, so she'll just have to bump it over. Now Wagner the hit, and one of the Rebels into the net. And they're going to say it was Lloyd, I believe, and she kind of looks over here going, that was me. But we're tied at 5 on the Uinetado scoreboard. After the Tigers get that point, Lloyd goes back to serve. Serves from straight away. You can see her just on the edge of the screen if you're watching at kadqradio.com. Rebels set it up for Peart, hit over, and the Tigers will set it up now for Wagner. Cornea passes up front. Peterson sets it to this near side for Lloyd. Lloyd hits it, and the Tigers are there. They'll set it up for Wagner. No, the push, just out of bounds by Kennedy Lazenby. The sophomore pushed a little bit strong, and the Rebels regain the lead, 6-5 on the Uinetado scoreboard. Rebels with a 2-0 lead in the match. They won set 1 25-12, won set 2 25-14, and leading 6-5 in set number 3 on the Uinetado scoreboard. So the Rebels in good position here with Christina Peterson going back to serve. The sophomore awaiting. I'm not sure what the delay is. The officials are telling the student section. If you're watching online at kadqradio.com, you can see the student section kind of on that far left side. And the officials say, back up, get up on the bench, get up off the floor, guys. And they do, and they cheer about it. Now here's the whistle and the serve. And the pass by the Tigers goes back over the net. Rebels set it up for Ellen Peart. Tipped at the net, but tipped into a hole. And the Rebels get the point, leading 7-5 on the Uinetado scoreboard in set number 3. Again, Rebels won the first 2 sets, 25-12 and 25-14. Peterson back to serve again for the Rich High Lady Rebels. This little routine, almost like she's shooting a free throw. A couple of bounces, a little spin, serves it over. And the Tigers have a little struggle just to get it back. Lamborn passes up front. Cornea sets it for Peart here on this near side. Blocked, but blocked high. And Rebels able to play it nicely. Here's Hefner to Peart again. Big hit, a diving effort by Rhodes rather, and her pass is passed into the stands in the Rebel student section. Rebels now lead 8-5 on the Uinetalo scoreboard. Starting to pull away. We were tied at 5 just a moment ago. Here's Peterson's serve. Lazenby, nice pass. She'll get the set and the big hit to the back row. Lamborn is there, but one of the Rebels into the net. And it was Hefner, they'll say. And she goes, oh, sorry about that. It's 8-6 on the Uinetalo scoreboard. Point goes to the Tigers, and the Rebels' lead is cut to 2. Wagner back to serve. Lamborn passes up front. Nice pass. Cornea sets it for Peart. Peart's hit. Blocked out of bounds. Lazenby's hands not turned right. Peart just powered through. It's 9-6. Rebels with the lead on the Uinetalo scoreboard. And Hopkins will check back in. Peart goes back to serve for the Rebels. Lloyd, Hefner, and Hopkins on the back row with Brown, Lamborn, and Peart on the back row for the Rebels. Pass goes way up high, and now Lazenby just pushes it over. Peart will set it up right there near to her for Hefner. Hefner, a good hit to the back row, and Wagner passes up front. Nice play by the Tigers. They'll set it up and find that hole in the defense. They just push it over the top, and it's 9-7 on the Uinetalo scoreboard. Rebel lead cut back down to 2 as Lazenby goes back to serve from straight away. Over the top, and Brown, a diving effort just to keep it alive. The pass goes over the net. Now they'll set it up for Barnack, whose hit is long. She tried to find that angle, but just hit it too strong, and it's 10-7. Rebels with the point and the 3-point lead on the Uinetalo scoreboard. Rebels leading. They won the first 2 sets and leading here in set number 3. Lazenby the pass after Reagan Lloyd's serve. Now the push over the top. Lamborn's there. She'll push it into the corner. Tigers are there. They'll set it up, but the set goes over the net. Hefner goes up and just hammers it into the corner. And the Rebels lead 11-7 on the Uinetalo scoreboard. Lloyd back to serve again for the Rich High Lady Rebels. And Lloyd's serve long to the backside. Wagner's there. They'll pass it up front. Big hit by Jenkins. Blocked by Hefner into the stands. And Dakota Clark was there, but that's not where we want the ball. It's 11-8. Tigers get the point. That's not where we want the ball if the Rebels were the last ones to touch it. In to serve is Hamilton. Daly Hamilton serve into the net, and the Rebels get the point, and now back up by 4, 12-8 on the Uinetalo scoreboard. If you're watching online at kadqradio.com, you can just make out the scoreboard in the top left corner of the screen. Rebels leading 12-8, and that 2 in the bottom left corner of the scoreboard indicates they lead 2-0. Here's the Rebels' effort. Peart, just goes trying to keep that alive. She goes over that line underneath the net. Point to the Rebels. It's 12-9 on the Uinetalo scoreboard. And Wagner, check that, Barnack will go back to serve for the Lady Tigers. Weston, the pass. Peart comes over to set for Lamborn, coming in strong, and she pushes it over. Boy, she was coming in fast, and that push was almost like a kill shot as she pushed it into the corner. She finds the hole and had some mustard on it, and the Rebels get the point. So Corney will go back to serve now for the Rebels, leading 13-9. The pass up front into the net. It's set up into the bottom of the net and falls straight back to the floor. So it's 14-9. Rich with the lead on the Uinetalo scoreboard. They won sets 1 and 2, and they're leading 14-9 here in set 3 on the Uinetalo scoreboard. And boy, oh my goodness, Cornea with that floater serve. Lazenby just can't handle it, and at the last second hits her in the chin. That's the kind of the serve that floater was for Cornea. What a beautiful serve. Lady Rebels lead 15-9 on the Uinetalo scoreboard. You're listening to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich Lady Rebel Volleyball. You're on KADQ FM 98.3 and online. You can watch it at kadqradio.com.
Hunters, you could win a gift certificate to Sports World by winning first. in the Big Buck Contest. Sports World certificates for second and third place, too. Stop by Castle Rock Chevrolet for details. Before you head to the hills, have Castle Rock change your oil and give your vehicle a multi-point inspection. And when you're hunting for a new car or truck, then stock the lot at Castle Rock.
We're Castle Rock.
A $3,000 prize for first place, the Big Buck Contest at Castle Rock Chevrolet. CastleRockChevy.com.
Welcome back to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Richard Lady Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ FM 98.3 and online at KADQRadio.com. You can watch these matches. We had our homecoming football game earlier this afternoon. Rebels got the win over the Buckaroos of Monticello, 20-19, a come-from-behind victory for the Rebel football team. Lady Rebels right now leading 15-9 in set number 3, and they won the first two sets, 25-12, 25-14. In sets 1 and 2, respectively. This match here tonight also brought to you in part by Rocky Mountain Care, simply the best care. And again, our starting lineups tonight were brought to you by Stacy's Repair in Woodruff. Beginning serve was brought to you by the station in Randolph. And your scoreboard sponsor is You Win the Title. The official having a little discussion here with Coach Cindy Stewart, and I'm not sure. I think the officials are going to tell Coach Stewart to go have a quick chat with the cheerleaders and make sure they're not interfering with the match in any way. Coach Stewart, if you're watching online at KADQRadio.com, on the far right, just off the screen, where the cheerleaders are set up, you'll see her come walking toward the left now. Yeah, there's her head in the bottom right corner. She comes back to the bench. Quick chat with the Lady Rebel cheerleaders, and now we'll be back underway. Andy Cornea serving. Right to left, beautiful serve. Lazenby's pass up front, a nice pass, not a great pass, right into the net. Hamilton's set to the sideline and out of bounds, and the Rebels lead 16-9 on the Uinta scoreboard. Pulling away in set number 3 with a 2-0 lead in the match. Here's Cornea. The serve is long to the back row, played off the left arm of Barneck, and the Tigers will get it over the net. Now set up by Grohl. Big hit by Lamborn and shanked by Lazenby into the student section. And the Rebels lead 17-9 on the Uinta scoreboard. Lamborn thought it was her turn to serve, but Cornea says, nope, it's still me, Cammie. I'm still the serving right here. Cornea's serve, boy, that floater is just tough to handle. The Tigers can't even get it back over in 4. That's how tough that serve is. If you're not watching online at KADQRadio.com, tune in because, boy, it's just fun to watch that serve by Cornea. And as a freshman, it's incredible. Here's the serve to the backside. Wagner passes up front. They'll set it up, and Rose just has to bump it over. Weston will pass it. Cornea will set it for Lamborn. The big hit to the back row, and really Barneck is there. She'll pass it up front. Now Wagner will bump it over. Cornea will set it up again here to this near side for Peart. Peart is tipped by Jenkins. They'll tip it up and keep it alive. Tigers over the top. And now Grohl will set it up for Lamborn, pushing into the corner. A dive by Barneck to keep it alive. What a volley we got going here. Weston will pass up front. Cornea sets it up for Peart, coming down the near side. Big hit, and Barneck's pass is misplayed. Rebels will get the point, leading 19-9 on the Uinta scoreboard. What a hit by Peart down the line, and Cornea back to serve once again. Here's that serve, and this one long. The Tigers let it go, and the run stops there. Rebels were on a 7-0 run up to that point, but the run ends. It's 19-10 on the Uinta scoreboard, and Jenkins goes back to serve. Jordan Nell's serve goes to Lloyd. Lloyd passes up front. Nice pass, and the set for Peart. The hit is a bit long, just a bit long. And the point will go to the Lady Tigers. Rebels lead 19-11 on the Uinta scoreboard here in set number 3. Rebels got the win in the first 2 sets, or won both the first 2 sets. Here's Jenkins. Jenkins to the back row. Lamborn. Peart passes over the top, or just pushes it. Now the Tigers will set it up and pass it back over. Rebels, Cornea sets it up. Big hit by Lamborn into the net, or into the blockers, but Lazenby and Wagner block it into the net on their own side, and it's 20-11 on the Uinta scoreboard. Lady Rebels lead. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a quick one as well here in set number 3. Rebels with the lead. You're listening to a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ FM 98.3 and online at KADQradio.com.
Hunters, you could win a $3,000 gift certificate to Sports World by winning first place in the Big Buck contest. Sports World certificates for second and third place, too. Stop by Castle Rock Chevrolet for details. Before you head to the hills, have Castle Rock change your oil and give your vehicle a multi-point inspection. And when you're hunting for a new car or truck, then stock the lot at Castle Rock.
We're Castle Rock.
A $3,000 prize for first place, the Big Buck contest at Castle Rock Chevrolet. CastleRockChevy.com.
Welcome back to a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich Lady Rebel Volleyball here at KADQ FM 98.3 and online at KADQradio.com. You can watch the match. Rebels with the lead, 20-11 on the Uinta scoreboard, and Cammie Lamborn back to serve. A beautiful serve. Tigers able to recover and just push it over the net. Now Cornea will set it up for Lloyd. Lloyd's tip just over. The Tigers pass it back. Rebels hit it back. Tigers back at it, recovering. They scramble and get it over. Lamborn passes up front. Cornea sets it for Peart here on this near side. The big hit long. And if you're watching online at KADQradio.com, you see Peart's immediate reaction. She kind of throws her head back. And she just goes, oh, dang it. 20-12. Tigers get the point. And Rhodes will go back to serve. Here in set number 3, Rebels lead on the Uinta scoreboard by 8. Pass up front. Cornea will set it up for Lloyd coming to this outside. And a beautiful hit by Lloyd. She finds the angle. And as she walks back in, she's just kind of chuckling to herself as she walks back in to huddle with the team, because she just kind of just hit that as well as she could. And somehow it turned out to be really great. Here's Brown to serve for the Rebels. Wagner passes up front. They'll set it up for Lazenby, and a nice hit by Lazenby. Lamborn dives to try and get to it, but she can't get there, and it's 21-13 on the Uinta scoreboard. Rebels get the point, or the Tigers get the point, rather. Rebels leading in set number 3. Rich took the first set 25-12. They won set 2 25-14, and they lead 21-13 here in set number 3, trying to pull off the 3-0 win over Tabiona here homecoming night. Cornea sets it up for Peart. Big hit by Ellen Peart, and that's what we like to see from Ellen. Boy, she got up high on that one. Ellen Peart listed at just 5'5", but she was a good foot over the top of the net, and she just hammered that one down. There's no way the Tigers are going to return that. Here's Peart to serve now. The pass by Lazenby, not good, and she passes it into a hole in her own team. And it's 23-13. Rebels knocking on the door here in set number 3 of the sweep. Here's Peart. And, the serve into the net. Makes it 23-14. Rebels with the lead here on the Uinta scoreboard. Rebels took the first 2 sets and with the lead 23-14 in set number 3. Here's Lazenby. Lloyd passes up front. Peart will set it for Lloyd here on this near side. Big hit by Lloyd. Wagner's there, though, and Lazenby sets it up front. Tigers will pass it over. Now Peart will set a back serve. Not a good back serve for Hopkin. She back served it a bit too far, and the two of them just kind of chuckle about it. So that makes it 23-15 on the Uinta scoreboard. Tigers trying to get back into this one. Lazenby set the serve. Now Peart will set it up for Hefner. The hit, tip at the net. Now the Tigers will set it up. Blocked by Hefner and Hopkin, as Barnack tries to get. Now Barnack will hit again, and Lamborn dives to try and keep that one alive and can't play it well. So it's 23-16 on the Uinta scoreboard, and the Rebels getting a little bit flat-footed, celebrating a victory before they actually have it in hand. Here's Lamborn, the pass up front for Peart. Peart sets it up for Lloyd. Lloyd pushes down the line, and Rhodes is there. They'll set it up, but set into the net. Nice job. Hefner goes up high and just roofs it down. She just taps it right to the floor, and it's 24-16 Rebels with the lead. Set and match point here as Reagan Lloyd goes back to serve. Here's the serve by Lloyd. Back row, it's passed up front by Wagner. Giles will set it up for Barnack, who tries to push it into a hole. Lamborn is there. Peart will set it up for Lamborn. Big hit! Hammered home! Wagner can't handle it. It's 25-16, and the Rebels get the victory in 3 straight. 25-16 on the Uinta scoreboard in set 3. They took the first set 25-12. They took the second set 25-14, and they win set 3 25-16. Coming up, we'll recap the match set by set. We'll hope to visit with head coach Cindy Stewart. This is a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ 98.3 FM, and watch these games online at KADQradio.com.
It's time for the pre-winter checkup special.
Big O Tires, we go the extra mile. Revving up the service to make you smile. We're in the business of customer pleasing. All the right service for all the right reasons.
Receive an oil change, 22-point inspection, brake check, and tire rotation for just $59.99.
Extra miles, the way we go, we got you covered at Big O.
Big O Tires in Evanston, 607 Cheyenne Drive.
Precious time cannot be recovered once lost, said the famous Jack Sparrow. Don't lose time driving extra miles when the dental services you need are available right here in Evanston. Do you need a root canal? Do you need your wisdom teeth pulled? Are you missing teeth or want a full and perfect smile? Do you need braces? All of these services are available from our specialists right here in Evanston. This is endodontist Les Walker inviting you to join me and my associates. Call today to schedule an appointment at 307-789-5608. That's 307-789-5608. Save your precious time.
Welcome back to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich Lady Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ FM 98.3 and online at KADQradio.com. You can watch the game. We had the Rebel football game earlier today. Rebels got the win over Monticello 20-19. Here in the volleyball match, Rebels get the win in 3 straight over the Tabiona Lady Tigers. And this is a Tabiona team that came in confident, feeling good, and boy, that's maybe a bit of a blow to them, having come in here feeling pretty good, going 10-1 up to this point in the season, and the Rebels take care of business 25-12, 25-14, and 25-16 on the Winnetitle scoreboard. Quick work of the Lady Tigers, and the Rebels get the victory. If you're watching online at KADQradio.com, you see the Hot Shot Cam going right now, brought to you by Perry Brothers Trucking and Ellingford Brothers Incorporated. Today our starting lineups were brought to you by Stacy's Repair in Woodruff. Beginning serve of each set was brought to you by the station in Randolph, and our scoreboard sponsor brought to you by Winnetitle. Today's match also brought to you in part by Rocky Mountain Care, simply the best care. The Rebels in that first set, it started out close, and the Rebels were actually down 2-0 before they went on a 5-0 run, and that made it 5-2. A few minutes later, Rebels went on an 8-0 run and then cruised from there to take that first set 25-12. A similar story in the second set. We were actually tied at 10 apiece before the Rebels went on a pretty good run and went on to win 25-14 in the second set on the Winnetitle scoreboard. And the third set, a 7-0 run about midway through, made it from 12-9. Rebels extended it to 19-9, and then they kind of almost thought they had the victory in hand there before, as the Tigers kind of fought back into it a little bit before the Rebels pulled it back together, finished it off, scored the final 2 points of the match, and won 25-16 on the Winnetitle scoreboard. So, again, the final scores, Rebels get the win 25-12, 25-14, and 25-16 on the Winnetitle scoreboard, and the victory here tonight in homecoming for the Lady Rebel volleyball team, and the Rebel football team got the win earlier today as well. Well, stay tuned. I'm going to try to get the attention of Coach Cindy Stewart, see if we can get her to join us here for a post-game interview here on our post-game show. Stay tuned. You're listening to a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich High Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ FM 98.3, and you can watch these games online at KADQradio.com.
Hunters, you could win a $3,000 gift certificate to Sports World by winning first place in the Big Buck Contest. Sports World certificates for second and third place, too. Stop by Castle Rock Chevrolet for details. Before you head to the hills, have Castle Rock change your oil and give your vehicle a multi-point inspection. And when you're hunting for a new car or truck, then stock the lot at Castle Rock. We're Castle Rock. A $3,000 prize for first place, the Big Buck Contest at Castle Rock Chevrolet. CastleRockChevy.com.
It's time for the pre-winter checkup special.
Big old tires, we go the extra mile. Revving up the service to make you smile. We're in the business of customer pleasing. All the right service for all the right reasons.
Receive an oil change, 22-point inspection, brake check, and tire rotation for just $59.99.
Extra miles, the way we go. We got you covered at Big O.
Big O Tires in Evanston, 607 Cheyenne Drive.
Welcome back to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich Lady Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ-FM 98.3. And you can watch these games and matches online at KADQradio.com. Coach Stewart seems to have left the building. She's hiding from me. I think I can't see her anywhere. And I'm going to try to get her attention for the post-game interview here on KADQ-FM 98.3. Warren having a little too much fun with the camera over here, trying to get the post-game activity. Of course, it's homecoming here tonight, this week for the Rebels, for the Rich High Rebels, and some of the activities after tonight's game. Actually, if you're looking for dinner, I know I am, and this sounds delicious. They've roasted a pig during the day today. There's a barbecued pig. They'll have some other food. It's $3. Everybody's invited. That's tonight from 8 o'clock until 9 o'clock. I imagine they might go a little bit later since the volleyball just ended and it's about 8:30. But also tonight there's the homecoming dance, so that's for the students. And as I understand it, they're supposed to wear clothes that can get ruined, including shoes. Going to be throwing different colored cornstarch tonight. That's just part of the activities for the Rebels homecoming tonight and the homecoming dance. Coming up this week, let's take a look ahead while we try to get Coach Stewart's attention. Let's take a look ahead at what's going on in the coming week for the Rich Rebels, and that starts off with this next Thursday. Rich Middle School football plays host to Star Valley. That's at 4 p.m. Then on Friday, Rich Middle School volleyball plays at Manila. Rich High School football is a big one next Friday night at Kanab. And again, that's another game like tonight. It's not a region game, but it is a classification game. And Kanab beat Monticello, 2 weeks ago, I believe. So that'll be a tough one for the Rebels at Kanab, and it's always the long trip down to the other end of the state. So that'll be a tough one. We'll have it right here on KADQ-FM 98.3 and online. You can watch it at KADQradio.com. We'll have the pregame at 3:20, and kickoff is scheduled for, check that. The JV kickoff is scheduled for 4 p.m. So we'll tune in for our pregame at 6:20 for the varsity game, and kickoff is at 7 o'clock next Friday night at Kanab. Now, the volleyball is also in action next Friday. The varsity and the high school volleyball teams at Cokeville. And since we'll be down doing the football game at Kanab, you'll have to, if you want the volleyball, you'll have to just make the short trip over to Cokeville. But Saturday morning, we'll make that quick trip from Kanab up to Altamont, where the Rich High School volleyball team plays at Altamont. And we'll have the varsity match for you here on KADQ-FM 98.3 and online at KADQradio.com. You can be able to watch that Saturday. The freshmen play at 10 o'clock, JV and sophomores. The JV match is at, 11:15. Varsity scheduled for 12:30 next Saturday, a week from tomorrow, as the varsity volleyball team plays at Altamont. Also next Saturday, Rich Middle School football 6th grade team plays at Kemmerer, and then the Rich Middle School volleyball team hosts Big Piney and Pinedale. And that's all coming up next week in the Rich School District calendar. And so, again, don't miss our next Rich High School broadcast. Rich Rebel broadcast will be next Friday night as the football team plays at Kanab. Pregame will be at 6:20. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock next Friday night. And then Saturday morning, we'll have Rich Rebel, Lady Rebel volleyball right here on KADQ-FM, as well as the Rebels play at Altamont. So if you can't make those trips, don't worry. We'll make them for you. We'll bring you the broadcast live on the radio at 98.3 FM right here. And you can also watch them online at KADQradio.com. Well, I can't seem to get... Oh, yeah, I just got the attention of Coach Stewart. I was just going to say I can't seem to get her attention, and then she looked up at me and said, "You want me to come talk?" And we definitely want that. So stay tuned. We'll have Coach Cindy Stewart coming up right after this on a Big O Tire of Evanston presentation of Rich Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ FM 98.3 and online at KADQradio.com.
Long lines and slow traffic. Gas prices on the rise? Save yourself a trip to the big city by stopping first at Cowboy Motor Company. You no longer have to get out of Dodge to find the best deals on vehicles. Cowboy Motor Company has them in stock. Expanding inventory and plenty of money available for lending, you can now get into Dodge at Cowboy Motor Company. Strength, honesty, and integrity. The Cowboy way. Cowboy Motor Company, 100 Wasatch Road in Evanston.
Welcome back to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich Lady Rebel Volleyball here on KADQ FM 98.3 and online at KADQradio.com. This is Ryan Steinekert here, and joining me now in the postgame is Coach Cindy Stewart for the postgame interview. And Coach, I know it's loud right now. Congratulations on the win here tonight over Tabiona. How did you feel about it?
I felt good. It was fun.
This is a team, Tabiona, they felt pretty good about coming in tonight. They were 3-0 in region. I think they'd only lost one match all year so far.
They're so much improved, and we're so excited for them.
What are they doing better? How are they improving so much?
Well, truly, we've been doing camps for them.
Okay.
And they got this new coach who's a mother.
Okay.
She's not really a coach, but she's shown great interest in them. So she's doing things correctly, and they're doing things correctly. They serve better. They've been times that we've served them beat them 25-2.
Wow.
Because they could never return it. Now, just because they're in the game, I'm so excited that I think they'll do really well at state.
How did you feel your team played, considering the improvement of Tabiona?
I thought we played really good. Reagan Lloyd passed 10 for 10 perfect.
Wow.
We've never had a girl do that at Rich High.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
And they served tough. They had
did.
good serves.
There was one that I remember specifically. I thought that was the best serve we saw tonight, and Lloyd went down low and made a real nice pass.
She did awesome. I'm so happy for her. And the seniors played well. Ellen is just taking over that 6-2 role and running with it. She's done super. And Cammie's always just a power.
Right. And is Ellen finding she is enjoying it a lot more?
She loves it.
That's great.
Yep.
That's great. So let's talk about some of what you have next week. You've got Cokeville on Friday at Cokeville. Is that right, or is that here?
No, it's at Cokeville.
At Cokeville. And then Saturday, is it just Altamont on Saturday? Just at Altamont, do you know?
Yes, it is. They wouldn't come. We had to change that. We were supposed to be out there on the 18th, yeah. Altamont's coming here Saturday, yeah.
Or is it at Altamont?
It is.
We'll have to double check that.
Yeah. Did I put at Altamont on there?
I think that's what you wrote for me.
Yeah, it is definitely at Altamont.
Okay.
Because we were supposed to play them when we went out there, and they wouldn't.
Right.
So we're having to go out there on a different day.
On the 5th.
That's definitely at Altamont.
So what can you tell us? Did you guys? Did you play Cokeville at that Cokeville tournament earlier this year?
No, they got in a different bracket.
Okay.
So, Cokeville's always a really emotional match for us. They're rivals. We're real close. They've always been really good, and so they'll be fun. It'll be a fun match.
Do you worry, then the next day at Altamont, do you worry since the team's already beat Altamont, are they going to be able to get up and ready for that?
It'll be tough because they're not very good.
Okay.
So, and it's a day after a real hard match against Cokeville.
Right.
But Altamont is not doing anything to make their team better.
Okay.
Duchesne and Tabiona are trying really hard. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Coach, thanks. Congratulations on the win tonight. Thanks for joining me.
I know you had probably a good day with our homecoming.
Oh, man, it's been a great day.
We're so
it's
glad
been
you're
fun.
covering us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. All right, that was Coach Cindy Stewart of the Lady Rebels here on KADQ FM 98.3 and online at KADQradio.com. And this has been our post-game show. You're listening to the post-game show here on KADQ. And again, our final score on the Uinta scoreboard, Lady Rebels get the victory in 3 straight, 25-12, 25-14, and 25-16 on the Uinta scoreboard. Today's match also brought to you in part by Rocky Mountain Care, simply the best care. Our starting lineups brought to you by Stacy's Repair in Woodruff. The beginning serve of each match brought to you by the station in Randolph. And again, our scoreboard sponsor, Uinta. Well, this has been the post-game show, the Lady Rebels post-game show. It's been a sports production and sports broadcast of Old West Media Incorporated and Cook Brothers Broadcasting. No portion of this production can be used or rebroadcast without express written consent of Old West Media Incorporated. Once again, our final score tonight on the Uinta Title scoreboard, Rebels win in 3 straight, 25-12, 25-14, and 25-16. Join us again next Friday night, Rebel football team at Kanab, pregame at 6:20, kickoff at 7 o'clock, and then Saturday morning, Lady Rebels at Altamont. We'll have pregame scheduled for 12:10 and first serve scheduled for 12:30. That's the next time that we'll have a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of our Lady Rebels at Altamont, and then the football team Friday night at Kanab. Until then, go Rebels.
You've been listening to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich High School Lady Rebel Volleyball on KADQ-FM 98.3, with video online at KADQradio.com. Today's match has been brought to you by these Rebel supporting businesses and individuals: Cowboy Motor Company, Save a Horse, buy from Cowboy; Big O Tires, the team you trust; Castle Rock Chevrolet, we are Chevrolet; Wyoming Dental Specialists; Rocky Mountain Care, simply the best care. Today's starting lineups were brought to you by Stacy's Repair in Woodruff. The beginning serve of each set was brought to you by The Station in Randolph, and your scoreboard sponsor for today's broadcast was Uinta Title. Thank you for listening to a Big O Tires of Evanston presentation of Rich High Rebel Sports on KADQ-FM 98.3 and online at KADQradio.com.